balances. And I will tell you, Your Excellency, that it has led to this. Look at how much we used to pay Central Bank, because we used to take overdraft from Central Bank on shortfalls to service maybe some loans which are falling due quickly. And in this year, 23-24, we even paid 9.6 billion. This is interest on overdrafts that we used to take. Today, it is 3 billion. But listen to this. July, Your Excellency, we have only paid 30 million. In July, 30 million. If we maintain that, it means we'll only pay 360 million shillings for the whole year as overdraft interest. Why? Because now we can see our balances which are lying idle elsewhere in all our accounts. So we don't have to borrow money, and yet we have money in other accounts. Let's move to the next one. Move to the next. Now, this is just a comparison. Debt to GDP ratio 72. Now it is 67 to 68.
John,
yes.
Just wait 1 minute.
Sorry.
Just go back to that single treasury account.
Let's go back to treasury single account.
You know, friends, the issue of treasury single account is a very big and transformational step that we took. Many administrations tried to do this single treasury account, and it was impossible. You know, since Kibaki, it was not possible to do it because there was money being made by people placing government money in different accounts. Now we said, and sometimes you go to the market to borrow money when you have your own money sitting in a bank. You know, it is very foolish. So what we did, we said, we must have visibility of all government money in every account. And before we go to the market to borrow, we use the money we have. If we have money here that is not being used now, it is next month. We take that money, use it this month, we will find the money for next month. So that, and I must congratulate our good people at Treasury for taking that very bold step. Today, look, in 2023-2024, because we didn't have Treasury single account, we paid 9.6 billion on interest. That has come down to this year, 2026, 3 billion. And he's now telling you for July, only paid 30 million. Because now the thing is being seamless. This is part of the reforms that nobody will tell you about. Because we are not saying it ourselves. We must say it loudly, you know, so that people know we have transformed the economy of the country. Whatever numbers you see here have not happened by accident. It is because of the reforms that we have carried out in that space. Treasury single account is one big step that we have. So we are being told some other character is saying, because he doesn't know, he says, oh, I'm going to come and do a treasury single account. Hana habari kwamba it is already done.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I know. Thank you, Your Excellency. Now, this one is just a comparison. All the things that I talked about, debt to GDP ratio has improved. You can see, 91-day Treasury bill rates gone down. Debt service to export. That is 2022 to 2026. I have explained all this, so we can move to the next. Then just move to the next. I think I've spoken to all this. So, in summary, this is what we have done in terms of liability management. We have reduced refinancing risk. We have reduced refinancing risk, which was real, and you saw it. We have improved our debt profile. Fortunately, even the report from IMF that was given to World Bank, which unlocked our DPO, had a positive picture about our debt sustainability. Market confidence signal. This we have also achieved. And by the way, what we did was to convert most bullet maturities into amortizing bonds. Let me just explain it in a second. Most of our Eurobond were bullet payment. Bullet means you pay it once. It was coming and you pay it once. What we have done is to change most of them to amortized bond, that you pay them in bits over a period of time. And most of them, so if you look at our curve, if I had time, you can see it has been smoothened. It was having spikes, very long bar. Near-term cost, again against long-term, you can move to the next. I think I've explained that. Now, this has led to stable and business-friendly macroeconomic environment. Let's just go to that. I don't want to bore you with the 5% GDP growth. This one you know. Move to the next. Our forex reserves, this is what I was speaking to. 6.4 months, it's not even 6.3. 6.4 months of import cover, which is way above the 3 months, which is the threshold. We are at 6.4. That is why we don't have much shocks, even regardless of what is happening in the global economy. Savings, this I need to speak to. Savings have risen from 1.5 trillion in 2022 to 2.85 trillion by June 2026 in this country. Total savings. Total savings. But His Excellency spoke about NSSF savings. It is now at 700 billion. From what in 2022? 285. The figure that HE talks about was 320, but that was 2023. 2022, it was at 285 billion. Look, NSSF has increased their savings. Now what do they have? 285 to 700. The savings has helped us in supporting the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The Nairobi Securities Exchange crossed the historic 4 trillion market capitalization mark for the first time in history on August 4th of 2026, closing at approximately 4.01 trillion, now making it one of the best performing stock exchanges in the world, globally, not even in Africa, in the world. In fact, in 2024, we became the best in Africa. You can move on. I think I've explained all this. Inflation, let me speak to inflation. Inflation has stayed relatively within the 7.5 to 2.5 plus, to 5, which is 2.5 up or 2.5 down. But in the month of May, we had, in April it was 5.6. This was up from 4.4 the previous month. Then it went to 6.7 in May. But it came down to 6.4 in June. In July, it was 6.5. Meaning, even with the problem that we are facing in the Middle East, we can still be able to manage our inflation within the range. And we are expecting this to remain within target. Move on so that we can finish. Now, this, I only want to explain this graph. Credit to private sector. I've had people say that we are starving private sector of resources, that what are we doing to make sure that people have money in their pockets. The story is different. Credit to private sector from around May 2024, this is the pattern, has been going down. Mpaka it was negative at one point in January 2025. We were really struggling for banks to give private sector money. But this has recovered. You can see. Today we are talking about 9.3% in May growth in credit to private sector, meaning banks and financial institutions are giving more money to the private sector at a positive growth, almost now hitting double digit. So this, again, is not just happening by chance. You can even see the interest rates have gone down. And this I will not say here, but what National Infrastructure Fund has also done, we may end up with more credit at double digit to the private sector because there will be liquidity in the market. Let's move and we conclude. Yeah, so this is just more explanation on the same. Move on. I I think we have explained it basically this. Because of the time, let's move on. In the interest of time, where have you? You've come back. Go on to the next slide. The next. Of course, our exchange rate notes overemphasized. That one I'd explained. I've explained Nairobi Securities Exchange, but let me just repeat it. That Kenya's markets have crossed 4 trillion in market capitalization for the first time in the history of this country by August 4th, 2026. Total listed company value has also grown by more than 1 trillion since January this year alone. And this is clearly demonstrating investor confidence. From one of the world's weakest markets from 2023, before 2023, today we became the Africa's best performing exchange in 2024 and the second best in 2025. Move on. Of course, that is talking about the capital markets. I mean the IPO that we issued. Now move to the next. The one, yes, this one. FDI inflows. This is what can show you and demonstrate the investor confidence. Foreign direct inflows of USD 3.2 billion in 2025, the highest ever recorded, 38% growth from 2.3 billion in 2024. This is not our own data, it is UNCTAD World Investment Report of 2026. FDI has doubled in 3 years from US dollars 1.6 billion in 2022 to 3.2 billion today. 2025. Kenya has now been ranked among Africa's top 5 FDI destinations. So when people talk of businesses are fleeing away, where is the data? The data is that we are now among the top attractive investment destination. In fact, in terms of attractiveness, Kenya was ranked the best in Africa in terms of attractiveness. 56, number 56 in the world. But you can see FDI inflow, you can only talk about Kenya together with Nigeria, which has also been attracting some inflows, Ethiopia, Uganda, and I think Egypt. Yeah, I don't see where Egypt, oh, Egypt is here. We have also talked about sovereign wealth fund. This one, Parliament, I don't want to bore you with this. You are the ones who passed legislation to create sovereign wealth fund, and you help us to create NIF fund. So I don't want to belabor the point. You know the three areas that sovereign wealth fund is supposed to address. Let's move on. I think, let me summarize and conclude. Your Excellency, I have talked about what this administration has been able to do in the past 4 years. And if you are fair to this administration, who belong to broad-based government, there is no reason why you cannot go out there and talk with confidence where we have brought this country from. We have done a lot of work, but if we are not careful, it will be consumed in the noise of our competitors. You can see, even in public debt alone, which everybody has been talking about, what this government has done. You can speak with authority because it cannot be denied. It is undeniable that this country was at a dangerous place. And now we can breathe and we can confidently say, let me tell you something, which I've shared with His Excellency. Early last year, 2025, one of the senior officials of IMF came, and we had a meeting with him. He's a former minister of Jamaica. We had a meeting with him at Serena Hotel, and he was very categorical and unequivocal. He was telling me, you have to go and restructure your debt. I told him we will not restructure debt. In fact, he thought I was mad. And we agreed with His Excellency the President that we will not go for debt restructuring, which other countries were going for. Today, the same guy came and told us, you guys are out of danger. There is no need for that restructuring. We can move on. So, if someone is telling you that this government has not done much, please speak with authority. If you cannot remember all the figures, at least remember some. Just pick some of them and remember. We will share this presentation because it's a public document. We will give it to our members of the National Assembly, members of the Senate, our governors, anybody who wants this information, we will make it available. Your Excellency, I want to apologize for taking so much time, but that was the presentation of the government. Thank you.
Sana ndugu yetu waziri wa fedha na mipango ya uchumi, ndugu yetu John Mbadi. Nafikiria ndio sababu baba alikuchagua kutoka katika ODM ili uende usaidie, na umethibitisha wakilishi huo. Waheshimiwa, nataka kuambia kwamba ikiwa unataka kupata vile vyote ambavyo Mbadi ameongea hapa kwa taarifa, unaweza kuichukua baada ya mkutano umemalizika. Hiyo taarifa hiyo iko tayari, utapitia huko nyuma, utachukua hiyo yote aliyoongea hapa, ili kwa sababu uweze kuisoma na kujua zaidi. Nataka kuchukua nafasi hii vile vile kumuita ndugu yangu mwenyekiti wa COG ambaye pia ni gavana wa Wajir. Karibu sana Ahmed.
Bismillah. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, my party leader, Excellency Governors, Members of Parliament, members of the broad-based family, good afternoon. Your Excellency, I think I should have come before John Mbadi. It will be such an anticlimax, and I don't want to get you to sleep through my presentation, but I'll try. Your Excellency and dear colleagues, you know, as a council leadership, we don't make news when we say anything positive about national government. The nature of the relationship that has been created over the last 14 or so years is such that the voice of the leadership of council can only be heard when they lament. So today I'll try not to lament and focus on what has been achieved as a result of collaboration and cooperation, what I call cooperative governance between the national and the county governments of the last 4 years. Please, explain. Your Excellency, the greatest achievement over the last 4 years has not been what either level of government has accomplished independently, but what we have been able to achieve together. More than anything else, I can say we've been able to work together between the two levels of government, reduce friction, confrontation, and that allowed us to achieve a lot. Next. Your Excellency, this year marks 16 years since the promulgation of the Constitution, and about 13 and a half years since devolution was actually institutionalized through the formation of county governments. Your Excellency, the data that I'm going to share here is from our open data portal at the Marifa Center of Council. At the council, we have a team that tracks vital data, just like KNPS does, from counties. And at times, there might be some slight differences here and there. Go ahead, please. It's in the area of health that this collaboration between counties and the national government is best evidenced. In 2023, we signed an IPA, an intergovernmental partnership agreement with the national government. You're going too fast. The slide with 100,000. Yeah, there. To set up the community health workers program. Before then, they used to be called community health volunteers. Under this arrangement, we agreed to do a 50-50 co-funding between the national and county governments for CHPs, to give them stipends of 5,000 shillings a month and to kit them. So the figure that we see there, the 100,000, is the numbers that were given kits, but the actual figure employed, I think, was in the region of 107,000. These CHPs have become a very critical cog in the delivery of health services because they're able to reach every village and ensure that there are a link between the health facilities and the communities. They've become very integral to our outreach programs in health. Your Excellency, the next thing is the establishment and operationalization of SHA with all its segments. I know the figure that was quoted before me here was on 228 primary care networks. But according to the data we have, we actually have 277 established and PCNs across the country. What this does is that it has created stronger linkages between communities, primary healthcare facilities, referral services, providing thereby a more integrated platform for delivering healthcare closer to the citizens. As of June 30th, next slide, the number of people across all counties that are registered for SHA was in the region of 31 million. I know 2 months down the road that number could possibly have changed. And payments to healthcare facilities have now increased from an average of 12.7 billion to 21.36 billion that we take out of SHA for only public facilities within counties. Your Excellency, this has been coupled with the creation of what we call the FIF, the Facility Improvement Fund, because there is now constant money flowing every month from SHA to facilities, individual facilities. And much as once in a while we raise issues about delay of payment of claims, actually we're dealing with a positive challenge in our facilities, in that the facilities now have money. They think it's their personal money. Correct. The facility in charge at times will even tell the CEC, the Minister for Health, this is my money. And we have counties that have built entire wings of hospitals, such as Homa Bay, I know, out of FIF money. So this is a very good thing, because going forward, every facility in every corner of a county is assured of money, regardless of who the governor is. Your Excellency, they usually say the proof of the pudding is in the eating. All these interventions that have been made are for a purpose: to reduce infant mortality, maternal mortality, increase vaccination rates, increase skill delivery. So I'll just go into a few of those statistics. We have, with the national government, come up with what is called maternal and perinatal death surveillance and response program, MPDSR. This is to actively and consciously monitor which mother is dying in childbirth and which child is being lost in delivery. And the numbers have yielded results and actually showing that in 2004-2005 fiscal year, there was 2,851 lives lost. That's the number of maternal deaths, compared to 2,656, showing a decrease of about 70%. These numbers, of course, need to come down further. One mother being lost, one child being lost is one too many. But you can see this trend of declining maternal deaths is as a result of the interventions being made in our healthcare systems, the reforms that we are collectively working together on. The number of licensed public facilities across the counties has also increased tremendously. And this data is available on the website, I guess, also of KPMDC. And this only speaks to public health, public facilities. From 4,500 under NHIF to a total of 6,740, an increase of 2,240 now registered under SHA. The number of hospital beds established across counties now stands at 10,104. And this includes, of course, ICU and HDU beds. Next, here in the area of health, when this administration came into office, the medical and service equipment scheme, I think it was commonly referred to as MESS, and I remember Senate saying MESS is a mess, had just lapsed. So the equipment was near obsolete with respect to the useful life, and there was no capacity to fund new equipment by counties. And so the idea of National Equipment Services Program, NESP, was conceptualized by this administration. NESP is now delivering equipment across all the counties, and at least 28 out of the 47 counties have received a number of equipments, including CT scans and MRIs, biochemistry machines, laparoscopic towers, and these are today available in nearly all the level 4 and level 5 hospitals, and for the blood and biochemistry machines even in level 2 and level 3 hospitals. The last cog in the wheel of that reform was the setup of the National Ambulance and Emergency Services, which was launched the other day, which will actually be reimbursing county ambulances for delivering patients to county hospitals. So the question of asking customers, patients rather, to pay for fuel of ambulances or or charging them for ambulance service will now be a thing of the past. Moving on, still within the health reform sector, as many as 42,000 digital devices have been deployed across level 2 to level 5 facilities, supporting the transition towards electronic patient records and digital processing of social health authority claims, making it easier also to collate health data because everything is now digital. So, Your Excellency, I think the one area where this collaboration in the last 4 years has really proved very advantageous to the counties and has really improved services to the common man is indeed in the area of health. Governors are usually quite protective of the health space because of the propaganda and the rumors always created that there's an attempt to roll it back. But I want to say that these things that we have achieved as demonstrated, and they may not be all the figures that you will require, would not have been achieved if we had not collaborated, from changing legislation to thinking through PPP arrangements for equipments, to the improvements that the administration has made in KEMSA, to programs such as MPDSR. Moving on, Your Excellency, the data of agriculture, I think what Honorable Madi gave is a lot more refined than what I'll give. The Council's data shows that, for instance, horticulture generated no less than 216.5 billion, up from 2003.6 billion in 2024. The amounts generated from coffee exports in 2025, for instance, just comparing 2 years, was up by 38.4 billion in 2024. And tea, according to our data, generated as much as 187.1 billion in 2025. Across all counties, food crop production has improved, with paddy rice output increasing from 169,300 tons to 180,000 tons, and maize deliveries slightly to 178,000 tons. And this is data that was all lifted from the last State of Devolution address that we had at the COG, showing that the programs that this administration has consciously thought of, such as the fertilizer program, are impacting on agriculture in all the counties. Your Excellency, agriculture's contribution to the national economy has, as a result, increased from more a bit faster, 21.2% to 23.2% of GDP. And there are many programs that we run with the national government with respect to agriculture. These programs include, among others, the Food Security Resilience Program in the ASALs and the National Agricultural Value Chain Development in the more arable areas. Agriculture continues to demonstrate the transformative impact of this cooperative governance, and it's having an impact on our economy. Your Excellency, the CS also spoke to the issue of the fertilizer program. It is indeed having an impact, and county governments have expanded the agricultural network extension of services, irrigation development, livestock and market support to take advantage of the support that the national government is giving. With respect to fertilizer procurement, what the counties are reporting is 272,816 bags procured, reaching no less than 305,000 farmers. Both the national and county governments continue to provide certified seeds and seedlings. I remember CS Mbadi was asked about livestock, and he said that the milk data that he has speaks to livestock. I just want to add that across all the 47 counties, at least 6.1 million of livestock has been vaccinated in the period under review. County governments have expanded extension services to livestock farmers as well, reaching almost 2.5 million livestock farmers. Moving a bit faster, in the area of trade and industry, our work in counties begins with registering businesses and giving them permits. We report to Your Excellency that in this period of 4 years alone, county governments have issued over 1 million businesses with trade licenses, demonstrating growing business confidence in the country, because the 47 counties registering local businesses of 1 million actually speaks to the business environment there is. Working with the Ministry of Trade, we have 34 counties that are now developing industrial parks under the County Aggregation and Industrial Park types program, which program also is a collaborative program co-funded by the two levels of government on a 50-50 basis with respect to the construction. And governors have requested, Your Excellency, that the 13 counties that have not been funded so far, I think there's 13 counties that were worried that their funding has been removed in the last budget, that funding be reinstated, Your Excellency, in the supplementary, because I think this program now is picking up and all the counties don't want to be left behind. But we're working also with the Trade Ministry to operationalize the ones that have been completed. And this program, Your Excellency, is probably the biggest investment in cottage industries since independence. In the area of climate change, the collaboration between the county governments and the national government is also bearing fruit. And here, Your Excellency, there is the financing locally led climate change FLOCA action program across all the 47 counties. This has institutionalized climate governance and dedicated climate financing to the very, very local level, and its impact can be seen in terms of earth dams, in terms of incubation of agricultural farms in even places that are not traditionally crop producing areas. In the area of water, Your Excellency, the data that we have shows that the distances to safe water has substantially reduced from 3.2 kilometers to to 2.8 kilometers. This is largely because of investment projects such as the Kenya Water and Sanitation Investment Program, which the Ministry of Water is running with counties. Other programs include the Kenya Water Sanitation and Hygiene Program, KWASH. We also have underground water for ASALS, which is part of the Horn of Africa initiative. These, taken together with the investments that counties are putting in water, has resulted in a reduction of distances to safe water. In the area of environment, Your Excellency, counties report that as many as 72.5 million trees have been planted in the last financial year alone across counties. Your Excellency, I've been asked to wind up, but please allow me, I just have a few more slides. The most contentious engagement we usually have, Your Excellency, between counties and national government is during the DORA process, which is counties always asking for more money. Equitable share has increased by more than 45 billion shillings in the last 4 years, and I think that was also demonstrated by CS Mbadi. Counties' own-source revenue has also tripled, because the more counties get, the more they're also able to generate their own source revenue. But Your Excellency, more than the increase, I think the engagement has also become a lot more mature. Because this engagement usually begins at IBEC. And I remember, and I think my predecessor, Anwar Guru, is probably in the room. And I can see you there. Your Excellency, there's a time when during IBEC days, Anne will call me at 7:30 to call in sick. Because she was avoiding to engage with the chair of IBEC then. Now we have no attendance problems at IBEC. We're always there, and all governors are said. Because we have mature discussions under the chairmanship of His Excellency the Deputy President. Your Excellency, moving on to the general area of intergovernmental relations, the county governments and the national governments have in place at least 42 intergovernmental partnership agreements across all devolved services. We are represented in 32 boards, task forces, and committees where of necessity executives at the national and county governments have to meet. And this has sustained intergovernmental engagement and has secured full annual equitable assessments during the last 2 reporting cycles. Members of Parliament may not know that we are represented in boards such as SHA, such as the affordable housing, and this speaks to the collaboration that we have with the national government. Your Excellency, in the area of urban infrastructure and development, at least 200, please move on, at least 202 kilometers of roads have been constructed within 59 municipalities. This is under programs such as Kenya Urban Support Program, KUSUP, and Kenya Informal Sector Program. There has been development of at least 171 kilometers of non-motorized transport infrastructure, provision of 5,250 parking spaces for both private and public transport, construction of 192 kilometers of stormwater drains to mitigate flooding, establishment of 31 kilometers of sewer lines to improve sanitation, creation of 12 recreational facilities, development of at least 12 fire stations in different municipalities, 16 retail markets constructed by counties, 4,533 street lights installed with an additional 81-meter high mast lighting. This is in addition to all the markets and all the street lighting programs that have been undertaken by the affordable housing program in counties. And needless to say, Your Excellency, in many of our counties today, the biggest housing estates that are visible are indeed the affordable housing program houses. In the area of roads, we continue to partner with Kura. In many of our sub-counties today, we're seeing tarmac road for the first time in many, many places. In fact, nearly all the constituency headquarters today can boast of some kilometers of tarmac. And for counties, we have at least 185,000 kilometers of roads that's maintained by the county governments. These are vital to link farmers to markets, children to schools, patients to health facilities. By the county governments. These are vital to link farmers to markets, children to schools, patients to health facilities. And Your Excellency will be glad if the issue of RMLF and the legal architecture around it can be completed so that there is harmony between members of parliament and the county governments. Please move on. I can see the mere mention of it is attracting some reaction. Let's move on. I think I've spoken to that as well. Just move on. In conclusion, Your Excellency, Your Excellency, Your Excellency, in conclusion, I want to say this. As we've been told by my party chair Gladys Wanga, down to 2027 has begun today. And Your Excellency, I began by saying that governors usually feel a bit shy, saying that national government has done this and that. But I've also said before that as a council we're not the official opposition. In any case, the official opposition today is ODM, and they're here with us. I think for this 1 year as governors, to be fair, that we speak more of the collaboration that we've had with the national government and what we've achieved with respect with that collaboration, and less of what we have not gotten or what we have through real perception been denied. Nearly all the governors in ODM and UDA are pro the broad-based government. advantage of that. Your Excellency, your opponents, and we don't know who your opponent is as of now, but one will try and use devolution and the strengthening and deepening of it as a promise for post-2027 elections. As the Council, we feel that this has been the most pro-devolution government or administration there has been. And Your Excellency, I'm licensed to say that because I think I'm the governor who has served longest in the leadership of Council, having served as 2 years, as Vice Chair for 2 years, and 2 years as Chair of Council. And I'm sure my sister Anne will agree with me. What we need to do, Your Excellency, then, I've not spoken to ECD, but there's much that we've done in the area of education. I just want to wind up because this gentleman keeps knocking on my door. What we need to do, Your Excellency, going forward, for the politics of things, and Gladys has spoken to it, is one, to speak at the mountaintops and everywhere, but two, to reduce cannibalization into each other. As UDA and ODM, and discuss the things that are likely to divide us in boardrooms rather than in rallies. And two, also, I don't see why ODM and UDA will take each other.
Let us have some order.
Let me go now.
Everybody will have a chance.
I'm not talking about county governments and national governments. I'm talking about UDA and ODM. I don't know whether ODM has taken UDA to court. I'm not aware. To Your Excellency, also, we need to reduce the so-called kingpin fights, especially in places where broad-based government has a lot of support. In fact, in those places, Your Excellency, what's likely to hurt us more is this kingpin fights than the opposition. Honorable Junet is pointing at Aaron Cheriot. Maybe I have had something else in mind. I want to end it there. And honorable members of parliament, we are not party to the CDF case. No, please. We are not party to the CDF case. If a Kenyan enjoins us as COG, we have to send a lawyer to court. But we have no problem with CDF. We have absolutely no problem with CDF as Council of Governors. I think that debate is well behind us. Your Excellency, I want to assure you that as COG, family of broad-based, we will support you and will support this fight because I agree with you. We must come back as broad-based to power in 2027. The alternative is unimaginable. Your Excellency, some of the governors back there have a placard. They're not demonstrating. They're just reminding me of the issue of pensions. I don't want that to be the only thing that's taken out of what I said. I'll leave it at that, Your Excellency. I thank you all.
Just before Mazzayo, 1 minute, Stewart, just 1 minute. Thank you. Governor has really spoken to the heart of our administration's perspective on devolution. And just so that we all understand where we are vis-a-vis devolution. Because sometimes there is a lot of propaganda and fake news. Number one, we made a deliberate decision that we are not going to engage in confrontation with our counties. We made a deliberate decision that instead we are going to be consultative, we're going to be facilitative, and we're going to work together. We have done, in my estimation, about 6 critical things with our county governments. Number one, we have not only increased our shareable revenue that is going to the county. It was 370 billion in 2022. 2022 in the 428 billion, a whole 60 billion plus. That is fact. In the last years, I have worked with Mbadi here. Any money owed to counties, in the past, we used to cross the year and then counties are paid on the other side of the year and it becomes spending bills and many things. In the last 3 years, every coin owed to counties was paid before the end of the year. Governors are here, I am sure they agree with us because that is a correct position. When we came into office, we engaged these county governors. Number one, we started with community health promoters. They were all over in some counties, not in some counties. Some of them were trained, some of them were not trained, some of them were getting lit stipend, some of them were not getting lit stipend. We agreed with the counties that we need to standardize. And I must commend the county governors because we sat on a table, we agreed that we are going to engage community health promoters in all counties. We did it, we trained them. As national government, we promised that we are going to kit all these CHPs. We provided equipment for all the CHPs. I must thank the county governments. They paid half the stipend. We paid half the stipend as national government. Again, showing collaboration between our two levels of government. We agreed on fertilizer and farmer issues. The county governments participated in our program of registering farmers. We had only 350,000 farmers registered. Because of the collaboration between the national and county governments, we have now a register of 7.2 million farmers. We can now provide interventions, including fertilizer subsidy, on a voucher system that is on a digital platform. We have since eliminated brokers, we have eliminated cartels because every farmer is registered. The county governments have given us some of the last mile. You saw here that there was a place where we said we have 228 centers where we are distributing fertilizer. Many of those centers are funded and provided by counties. Because agriculture is a shared function, actually a devolved function. But because we believe in devolution, we support agriculture. Together, we have seen coffee, sugar, tea, dairy grow together. The third issue that we did together is on the matter of health. Health is devolved, right? But we would have simply walked away as national government and say health is devolved, they can hang out with it. We did not. We engaged with counties. Apart from CHPs, we moved to the next step. We engaged the counties here. The former chair, Ann Waiguru, can bear me witness on the development of all the legislation that we took to Parliament. Counties had a say. They participated in all the legislation that Parliament passed. They have participated in all the boards that we have to demonstrate. I'm saying this so that we can demonstrate our commitment to devolution. By supporting counties to deliver on health, we are supporting counties to deliver on their mandate. And we are not so much bothered about whether this is a devolved function and this is not. We are bothered about the citizens who are the ultimate beneficiaries. In any case, there are no county or national citizens. We just have the citizens of the Republic of Kenya. The county governors will confirm that every hospital today, and they have said correctly, in fact, the chair of the Council of Governors has corrected how many primary care networks we have. It is not 220, it's 278. Our ultimate target is 315. so that every part of Kenya is covered. Every hospital today has a digital gadget. Every facility today, we agreed with the counties that we will do a model facility improvement fund, and every county did pass in their legislatures facility improvement funds in every county. That is why today every hospital in the Republic of Kenya receives money directly from SHA for the citizens of Kenya that they treat. That is how we are improving the quality of service in that space, and I am very proud, I say here without fear of any contradiction, of the partnership that we have done with the county governments. We have also agreed with the counties on matters of equipment. You remember, we had an old program which we were calling MESS, and it actually became somehow a mess because we ended up in a lot of problems with it. Some of the equipment was not working, some of the equipment broke down, there was no mechanism of trying to improve it, and we have many difficulties. So, together again, and I remember Anne and my good friend Ahmed here, we sat down with them as the leaders of the county of the counties, and we designed a program where instead of us buying very expensive equipment at very huge financial outlay, and also trying to maintain them, and also trying to service them, we decided that what happens globally is going to happen in Kenya. So innovatively, we now have equipment under the new program that we don't pay for. Manufacturers place those equipments in our hospitals, we only pay for service. It has made it possible for many hospitals in our counties now to have equipment, and those equipment for the service is paid for by SHA. Again, collaboration between the county government and our national government because of matters to do with making service available at the county. Every county government, in fact, there were only 2 counties that had refused initially because I think they didn't understand. But now, every county government has signed an intergovernmental participating agreement, what we call the IPA. We have also agreed on KEMSA. In fact, there is now a further discussion as to whether we can net off, and I think that's a conversation Sakaja has been encouraging me to do. We can agree on how to net off some of the debts between what we owe councils, what they owe KEMSA, and what we can net off so that we can have a smoother program, because we must make sure together there are health commodities in every hospital. And on KIPES, this good man has said what we are doing together. Again, counties gave 250 million, and the national government gave 250 million for the KIPES. We have now in the budget, Waziri Lee, I think 4 billion shillings to equip all the county aggregation and industrial parks that have already been completed, so that we can make them operational, because these will be the first stages of cottage industries in our counties. Again, the county governments, we have worked together on them. And of course, the housing program. We have worked on it together. Some of the land upon which we are building affordable housing is national government, some of it is county government, but we haven't distinguished this is county, this is national, because the citizens of any county, whether the land is national or county, belong to that county. And therefore, there is no need for us to waste time. Let me answer 2 questions that I see people keep asking. People keep asking, why are we using national government land or county government land to build affordable housing that eventually is sold to individuals? This is my answer to them. National government land or county government land, there is a mechanism in the law for them to be converted. It is legal. And let me ask them, between a national government land or a county government land being used to develop housing which benefit Kenyans, and that same land being left for grabbers to take it or to own it, which one is better? Alternatively, between that land being squatted and slums developing in those pieces of land and it being converted into decent, affordable dwellings for Kenyans, which one is better? For a slum to develop or for an orderly, affordable housing to be developed? Logic. Akili bwana. Sio kama tunaelewana. You know, so because I see many people struggling there saying, oh, why are we? And the third question, which I want to answer, they keep asking, why are you selling to citizens houses that have been built on government land using... In fact, Oburu has made it clear. Oburu says whatever land, be it by county or national, is held in trust by those governments for the people. So if the people benefit from that piece of land, what is the problem? But let me answer the third question. Some people are asking, why are we selling to citizens land, houses that have been built on government land using resources raised by the people of Kenya? I want to answer them. It is because the resources that we have put together by the people of Kenya using the housing levy and the land upon which we are building this land does not belong to one person. It belongs to all Kenyans. So, when you buy, you have to pay because we need the money to do the revolving fund until every other citizen has gotten a house. Then that is when we will stop. But until and unless each and every one of us has got a house, we will continue the revolving fund because in any case, we have a shortage of close to 2.5 million houses and that shortage is growing. So we are chasing a number that is moving. That is why we must continue building on whatever land that is available and selling to whoever Kenyan wants to be a homeowner. That's how we are going to change our country. And I want in that particular case to thank our counties for being part and parcel of the transformation that we have undertaken, whether it is in health, in agriculture, in housing, in county education, national parks, and all the others. And I want to confirm that we do not have friction anymore between the counties and the national government because we have already moved.
Your Excellency, I have a small message for all of us here. Waheshimiwa, tafadhali nisikizeni kidogo. This information is very important for all of us. That this is a hotel. We are not the only visitors. So please, do not leave your personal belongings or items unattended. We've had a few incidences. Therefore, please do not leave any of your items. For our sisters, your bags. For our brothers and sisters, you have telephones. So don't leave them unattended. Let me take this opportunity now, Your Excellency, to call the Prime Cabinet Secretary, His Excellency Dr. Musalia Mudavadi. Please come on stage and address us.
Leader Uhuru, Deputy President Kindiki, and colleagues in the broad-based. Broad-based hoye! Broad-based hoye! I know I am competing with the low sugar levels, but I will try and be as crisp as possible. Your Excellency,